So, DJI has just released a new firmware update for the Osmo Action 3, which includes 10-bit color with D-Cinelike, HDR video shooting, enhanced image quality video shooting, narrow field of view, and many other features. I am most interested in 10-bit because I enjoy color grading, so in today's video I'll primarily focus on that, but I'll also briefly mention HDR and enhanced image quality video shooting. Let's start with 10-bit. Here are two 4K 25p clips shot with the same exposure and white balance settings. The one on the left is a D-Cinelike 10-bit clip with minor color correction to make it look normal, otherwise the image is too flat. And the one on the right is a normal color with no post-production editing and enhanced image quality turned off. These clips, as you can see, are nearly identical. There are, however, some minor differences. The D-Cinelike clip has less artificial sharpness, slightly wider dynamic range, and a smoother transition between colors. Now, using the same clips, let's manipulate their colors in post-production to see how much of a difference 10-bit makes. I'm going to go crazy with this. I want to exaggerate everything as much as possible to really show you the difference of 10-bit versus 8-bit. So, in this example, I opened hue versus saturation curves, selected the teals, greens, and pushed them towards purple. Then added saturation and underexposed these colors. There are a few differences between these shots. The first one is in the bottom right corner of the house's backyard. If you look closely, you can see that the 10-bit clip has a lot more color information than the normal clip, which has almost nothing left. Furthermore, there is significantly more bending in the sky on the normal clip than on the 10-bit clip. Moving on to the next example, I selected the greens, yellows, blues, and pushed them towards teal and orange, red, then added saturation and underexposed these colors. The difference between these clips isn't as pronounced as it was in the previous example, but the normal clip introduces significantly more bending in the image than the 10-bit clip. As you can see, 10-bit does make a significant difference, but only if you're heavily into color grading. One thing to keep in mind is that 10-bit is only available up to 4K 100p on the Osmo Action 3. Unfortunately, 4K 120p is not supported. Now, to make things a little bit more interesting, let's see how the 10-bit on the Osmo Action 3 compares to the GoPro Hero 11. Take a look at these clips, which were all shot with the same white balance and exposure. The GoPro Hero 11 is on the left and the Osmo Action 3 is on the right. Both were graded in a similar way, but of course there will be minor differences in color because these cameras are different. Anyway, looking at these clips side by side, I can see that the GoPro has slightly more details in the shadow and the image overall appears to be more detailed, but to my surprise, the Osmo Action 3 appears to have less bending in the sky. Of course, none of this is accurate or scientific and I could be wrong. However, I will show you a few more examples so you can judge for yourself. The following example is nearly identical to the previous one. The Hero 11 has a wider dynamic range and a more detailed overall image. If you look at my face, you can see it quite clearly. The Hero 11 appears to be far more detailed and appealing than the Osmo Action 3. The Osmo Action 3 does, however, have slightly less bending in the sky. In my opinion, the GoPro Hero 11 simply crushes the DJI Osmo Action 3 when it comes to overall image quality. So if you're choosing between these cameras and image quality is the most important thing for you, definitely go for the GoPro Hero 11. Now let's take a look at the new enhanced image quality and HDR features. According to my test, the enhanced image quality feature simply adds more contrast and artificial sharpness to the image to make it pop. It's definitely not my cup of tea. I enjoy shooting in D-Cinelike and then grading my footage in post-production, but some of you might like it. Here are more examples. Moving on to HDR, it actually does a good job of retaining a lot of details in the shadows and highlights, but once again DJI adds a lot of sharpness to the image, making it look very cheap. So to summarize, the new 10-bit firmware update is pretty cool. If you're into heavy color grading, this is a must-have in my opinion. Some of you may also find the new enhanced image quality, HDR, Rocksteady Plus, narrow field of view features useful. However, I'm still disappointed with this camera when it comes to overall image quality. It will simply never replace my beloved GoPro Hero 11. Thank you for watching, and please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Bye.